Hello, this is Judy Matejczyk, award-winning life master consultant with creating your best year ever, 2018. A mother mouse was leading her three children through a house. Then all of a sudden, as they come around the corner, they see a cat. The cat looks hungrily at the mice and starts slowly walking toward the mice, revealing its sharp teeth. The mother mouse, in an effort to protect her children, backs up, rises up on her hind legs, and then says in a louder voice as she can muster, "Roof, roof, roof." The cat gets scared and runs off. The mother mouse turns to her babies and says, "Now, children, never underestimate the power of learning a new language." Now, there's this language of success that we're going to be looking at today as we create this brand new baby year that's never been lived before. And it's the language of creating the results that you want. And once we consciously understand what that language is, we can apply it to any area of our life that we want to improve. Now, raise your hand if you have some area of your life that you would love to improve. Are we good? Okay. And what I've learned during the many opportunities that I've had to speak to different groups and organizations is that often our dreams and goals are born out of our challenges that we're facing, or the pain that we're currently experiencing. So my intention for you today is to help bring like 3 tools to achieve your goals faster, greater clarity on your goals and dreams, and feel even more confident in your ability to achieve them. So how many of you have ever achieved a goal or dream? All right. I have. Actually, 2017 was the very best year of my life so far. You know, and I look back, and that's what this time is, this reflecting and looking back on 2017. What would we love to see more of? What would we love to see less of? And so let's ask yourself, how many of you have ever achieved a goal or a dream in 2017? All right, bring that to mind. Okay? Because when you were achieving that goal, you knew that you were capable of far more than you know. Maybe at the beginning of it, you did not really realize your potential, but you knew that with the strength that you could achieve that goal. Because our goals and dreams are often born out of the challenges we face. So bring to mind a challenge that you faced during 2017, that when you got on the other side of it, you were so proud of yourself. We're going to start this time together with bringing to mind, with a deep breath, in and out, your gratitudes, gratitude for having lived another year, and your wins. What is it that you're proud of? You stop and stay in gratitude. So many of our gratitudes are gratitudes in the fact that we've lived another year, gratitude in the fact that we saw this challenge and we're at the other side. Perhaps it was a health challenge for you. Perhaps it was the hurricane. Perhaps. But you knew that you made it to this point in 2017. Now, there's 2 signals for growth that we're looking at tonight. One is our growth in our longings, and then also our discontent. So just for a minute, look back, and what did you long for And what are your discontent? What was it that you're discontented? Let's look at what it is that you'd love to bring forward. And it's the feeling of longings for something we haven't yet achieved, you know, and that feeling of discontent with the current circumstances that sparks us to grow. Michael Beckwith has a great quote where he says, to change our life, we're often pushed by our pain until we're pulled by a vision. These two energies, the pain of your problem and the burning desire for what you want, are essential for creating the new results. So here's my story with 2017, where I was in this longing and discontent. In the April of 2017, and I was like doing my life, you know, speaking, teaching, coaching, and really having a great, you know, the high energy pose. And I was going down the street, boom, I slipped and fell and broke my ankle. What? And immediately I knew, I started beating myself up like, I wasn't present. I was actually on my phone, not really. And I knew it. And I was so discontent. And my mind went, oh, now you're not going to be able to lead that hike in July. You know, and all these beating myself up thoughts. Perhaps you've done that to yourself. And I heard this small voice saying, what makes you think you're still going to have a broken foot in July? And I realized that it was my discontent with myself that I was experiencing yet another time. Well, I went into action, and not only did I lead that hike, I led it more healthy than I ever have. So that's where this discontent with my life forced me into a change. So those are signals for growth. Now, I want to tell you, my promise for you is that I'm going to give you everything I can in the 60 minutes that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want it to take this information further and integrate it into your life. So for now, I will give you this special gift that you're going to love, and I'm going to give it to you at the end of the presentation. I'll show it, but just for now, sit back and relax. And we're going to get going here. All right, let's take another deep breath in, out. Okay, we're going to look at our life in 4 different key areas. Right? The first in four different quadrants, and this is the spiral of growth that I love to talk about. So we all just are in our lives, if you're here tonight, and there's 4 different areas. The first one is your health and well-being. Just for a moment, if you have a pen, or even if you don't, let's rate yourself. Where are you in your optimum health and well-being on a scale of 1 to 5? What is it that you would rate yourself? 1 being, it's the pits. You know, I really need to improve, lose weight, you know, whatever that is. And 5 being, I'm at my optimum health. Never felt better. This is as of 2017. We're right here. All right. On a scale of 1 to 5. Got it? All right. The second area of your life we're looking at is your relationships. Is there something that you're yearning to improve? Or are you just really yearning for that love of your life? How are you being in your relationships? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how are you rating yourself in your relationships? Got it? All right. This third area is in your vocation. I like to call these your gifts and talents, and what it is that you're here to give to the world. This could be like your special gift of music, art, you know, teaching, whatever that is. Rate yourself 1 to 5. Your vocation. And the 4th one is your time and money freedom. How are you with feeling really free about the time that you have in your day and your income? 1 to 5. So we're taking a baseline right here of your life currently in those 4 key areas: your health and well-being, relationships, your vocation, and your time and money freedom. You see, you don't really, get to create a life. You'll be able to create a life, but this is where we're becoming more and more aware in our awareness of where it is, where you are right now, creating the life, and then we'll start creating the life for 2018. Now, I want to take you into a little teaching called the results formula. This is where we are consciously creating the results in your life. Okay? First of all, our thoughts. Your thoughts and all the thinking that you're doing, your thoughts create your feelings. Just think about this. So if you're thinking that this is going to be a lousy day, or I am so depressed, your feelings are like I feel often, I'm sick, I'm in disease, and that creates your actions. So thoughts create like this: I hate myself, I just look awful. My feelings, the actions are stay in bed, covers overhead, and my results are day in bed, covers overhead. Okay? So here we go. So, or another way to look at it of thinking is, wow, I am thinking this is a magnificent, never before lived baby day. I'm feeling uplifted. My actions are getting ready to go, and my results are I'm out there running and feeling great. So this is the results formula, because your thoughts create your feelings, cause your actions, and cause your results. So that's why we look, but most people, those are like the cause and actions. A lot of people are in their B causes. Like I can't have the life I love because I feel rotten, because I didn't take any action, because I don't have the results. When we've got it all backwards, and we live this life of because I'm too old fat, because I'm old and fat, because my kids don't love me, because I have these addictions, because. Now look at your results now, because your thoughts create your feelings, actions, and results, and your results never lie. This is a little picture of my granddaughter who's like into results all the time. So I thought this was a great picture because she's thinking and she knows about her brain. So she loves life, and her thoughts are, and her feelings you can see right in her face, and her actions are being on top of it, and her results are having a great day. I love Anna. I love this picture too. So this leads us into dream building principle number 1. Now I teach a course, a Dream Builder program, and I'm going to take you through 3 of the principles tonight in the creating your best year ever, 2018. The first principle is designing a dream. We're going to be designing today or a dream or your dream life for 2018. The first question is, what do you really want? And it's not a question, what do I think I can have? It's what do I really, really want? Right? Now, there's do I want total health? What do I really want that life of, and do I really want a relationship? Do I really want an income that I've never had before? What is it that I want? And where we need to get focused is how a clear, concise picture of what that would look like. All right, so we have we want this, or we would love perfect health. What does that look like for you? Is it climbing that mountain? Is it swimming? Is it feeling fantastic? Is it looking and design that clear picture of you in that perfect health, you in that perfect relationship? You're the only one that can do it. And the clearer you get, the more powerful it is, because clarity of your picture is power. You have the power to create a vision and a dream that is for you. So here's the 4 areas. Now, we looked at the 4 areas where you are now. Which one of those areas did you have the lowest number? Was it your health and well-being, your relationships, your vocation, your time and number, money, freedom? Most people have 1 or 2 areas where they are yearning, and this is all during your life. At some areas our relationships will be at like high, and we're looking at time and money, freedom. It's up to you. So take that area where you had the lowest and ask yourself this question: what would I love? What would I love in my life? What would I love? Okay, take a deep breath in, out. What would I love? For most people, this is a question they've never asked themselves. What would you love? Okay, now we're going to get in this, play a little game here. It's called the time machine. And I love to play this. And we're going to hop in there. And in this time machine, we're going 3 years out. Okay, so for now, that would be like 2020 or even 2021, depending on when you're listening to this. 3 years out, and everything turned out the way you would love. You're living in that ideal health. You're living in there. And we're bumping into each other at a busy airport, right? And it's all loud, and we're seeing each other, and we're going, oh my God, I haven't seen you in 3 years since that webinar. Wow, what are you about ready to tell me? Okay, now this is the time machine game. All right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes now to take up a pen, and it's 3 years from now. We're bumping into each other at a busy airport, and you're going, oh my God, I haven't seen you in 3 years. I am so happy and grateful now that, and go on and on. Here's an example. I'm so happy and grateful now that I've been to Africa. I've played with the elephants. I'm in great health. I was meditating with them. I'm so happy and grateful. Look at me. My health is awesome. I have all this freedom. Income is coming in. I'm taking my family on trips. We've been to Maui, Africa, and I live in this tiny house on the cliff where I wake up in the morning so refreshed, looking out at the ocean. And then I go up and I do my work, my coaching calls from the porch, internationally and globally known. And I love my life. I love my life. Okay? Take a deep breath in. Now, this is all about you. Ready? You can write it and put down the key points. Ready? I am so happy and grateful now that. I give you 2 minutes. Go. All right, great. You have that seed of a dream. Great. That leads us to dream building principle number 2. So, what you just did, you created in your mind's eye your baby seed of this vision. Good. Principle number 1 is to create that dream. Principle number 2. You ready? I love this blueprint, don't you? You just started the blueprint. And guess what? More will be revealed. One of the things about starting this, it adds, it's organic, it keeps going. Principle number 2 is deciding for your dream. Until you decide, it will just be out there. And that's why we say, instead of what I want, what would I love? There's an energy to that feeling tone. So principle number 2 is deciding for your dream. According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. So, Dream Builder principle number 2, there's a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation that you'll ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. It's a quote from one of my mentors, Bob Proctor. So we have this, making a decision for that dream. So until it will always be a dream until you make a decision, and you decide over and over and over for that vision. So we have a name for this mental magic activity. It is called decision. Write that down. So you have a dream, decide for the dream. I'm going to tell you this story about, this is a different Judy, but it is a story. So I want to tell you this. Now, Judy was a mom who had minimal education and barely finished high school. She was a single mom raising 2 little kids, a 5-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. Since Judy didn't have much education, she worked at a fast food restaurant during the day, and then in the evening, she would do alterations as a seamstress. Now, between those 2 jobs, she was just able to support herself and her 2 kids. She lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. She and her daughter shared the bed, and her son slept on the pull-out couch. Judy worked really hard. She took care of her kids. And Judy's dream was to have a bigger home for her family. Despite really wanting the dream, she found herself thinking over and over and over again, there is just no way I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to be stuck in this forever. The apartment was $500 a month, and it took almost everything she had to just make ends meet. Now, perhaps some of you have been there. You're facing a challenge that seems huge. You may have been experiencing this problem for a while, and you don't know how to solve it, and that's where Judy was. So she came across this program like this one today, and the Dream Builder program, the one that I teach. And she decided that if she was ever really going to change her life, she needed support. And so she took a huge leap, and she made a decision for her dream, and she enrolled in coaching with me. And now, if you look at the conditions of Judy's life, you too would maybe agree that this is a tough thing. But she summoned her courage, and Judy made a decision that she was going to change her life. So she went to her coach and said, I have 2 children, and we live in this tiny 1-bedroom apartment. My dream is to have a home, but I've done the math, and my current income, I only have $500 a month for rent. And there is just no way I can get a house for $500 a month. Now, her coach said to her, all right, let's put that aside and describe that house. And she wasn't, she just wasn't crystal clear. So coach said, let's push that pause button on trying to figure out the how it's going to happen. First, let's get clear on the dream. Let's get crystal clear on what kind of house you would love. Now, when you form a mental picture of your dream, get as crystal clear as you can in your own mind's eye. Because when you're clear, you become a magnet of resources that you don't even know exist. So her coach helped Judy become definite in her dream, to pay attention to what it is that she would really love, so that she had a very clear mental picture, a very clear mental blueprint. So she painted a picture of her house where she and her children could live. Now, in this home, there was an arched doorway. There were 3 bedrooms, so each of her kids would have their own bedroom. And there would be a small white picket fence in front. And where maybe in the backyard they could have this dog. She wanted an older house so she could fix it up. She wanted a window over the kitchen sink, because in the apartment where she lived, wherever she was washing dishes, she looked at a blank wall. And she found that really depressing. So for her, having a window by the kitchen sink was very important. So her coach helped her describe the house that she wanted to live in with her family. And every time she would describe her dream, she would conclude by saying, but I don't have the money. I don't have the money. This house is impossible. So the coach said, okay, now that you're clear about what you would love, let me ask you this. If you didn't believe it was impossible, what would you do? Well, I'd be out looking for the house. Coach said, okay, so go out and look for it. Judy thought, well, this doesn't make sense to look for a house I can't afford, but I'm willing at least to try the process. So Judy started house hunting. 2 weeks later, he came to her coach and said, I found the house. Oh my gosh, this house has an arched doorway. It has a little picket fence. All it needs is repainted, but it has a window over the sink and has 3 bedrooms, and it has a little yard in the back for a new dog, but the rent was $900 a month. Then she started to cry and she said, I don't understand this. I feel worse than before. I can see what I want, but I can't have it. It's not there. I can't have it. $400 a month more than I have. There's no way. I cannot do it. So her coach agreed, yep, with that kind of thinking, it's impossible. But we want to stay in the mind of possibility. Suppose a part of you didn't know it was impossible for you to have this house. What would you do? Judy said, I don't know. Again, she was convinced by the condition that it was impossible. She was convinced by the condition that it was impossible. And her coach says, okay, stay in the question. Stay in the question. What would you love? Stay in the question. If you didn't know it was impossible, if you really thought there was a chance, what would you do? So Judy decided to stay in that question. Now, remember, the quality of your life is framed by the quality of questions you're willing to ask. Most of us learn to ask very weak questions of the universe, like, what do I think I can do? What does my bank account say I can do? What does my current job say I can do? So she's learning to ask bigger questions here. Okay, so if I didn't believe it was impossible, what would I do? Her old mindset was telling her it was impossible. And as long as she agrees with that old mindset, then that becomes the limit of her possibility. That is the length, and that is your limit. The truth is, we live in an abundant universe that is infinitely in scope, infinite in scope, and has the ability to have unlimited ideas for any size dream you want. So perhaps right now, in reference to your own dream, there may be a thought that's limiting you. Those limiting thoughts are actually constricting the flow of solutions and possibilities. You must connect with that part of you that is open to possibilities in order to attract the ideas that will bring fulfillment to your dreams. So encouraged by her coach, Judy thought, okay, so if I didn't believe it was impossible, what could I do? She was thinking this when all of a sudden an idea came to her. You know, if I thought I could have a house, why don't I write a letter to the owner and tell him about my dream and tell him what I would do if I had that house for a year? So she wrote a letter to the owner and she told him about herself and her children and her circumstance and that she could pay $500 a month, and described what she would do with the house if she and the children could live there for a year. She described the kitchens with the counters polished and the floor redone and the cupboards refinished. And she described the backyard planted and the flowers that she would grow there and the picket fence repainted and little flowers growing along the walkway from the front door to the picket fence. She listed about 40 things that she would do if the landlord would let her have the house for $500 a month. All he had to do was provide the supplies, and she would do all the work. Then she drew a picture of the house as she was imagining it. She put it in the letter, and she took it to the mailbox, and she said, "This or something better still," and she let it go. She waited for a response from the owner. After the third week, she called her coach, beaming. She said, "Oh my gosh, the landlord called me last night. He said he had my letter on his desk for over a week, along with 2 other applicants who were willing to pay the complete $900 a month. He called me up and he was kind of gruff, and he said, 'I don't know why I'm doing this, but there's something in your letter that just won't leave me alone. So here's the deal. I'm going to have you sign a contract to work for work completed every quarter. You figure out how you're going to do this work over that, and you can have, and I will help you out, and you can have this house for a year for $500 a month.'" With a big smile on her face, she said to her coach, "We are moving in 30 days. 30 days later, she moved into her dream home. Now, this is the work after a year, after the year of believing and doing the work. This is the home. Now, the story doesn't end there. See, what happened for Judy over the next year was that she experienced herself as a much bigger person, much more capable, much more creative. And that's what happens with dream building. Within the next year, she left her fast food and alteration job. She started a business from her home. And while she became, and everything began to skyrocket. At first, it dipped, and then it began to skyrocket, and she spent much more time with her kids. A year later, Judy actually took out a lease option on that dream home. Within 3 years, she bought that home. Now, there are some who would say there's no way to get from where she was, $500 a month, no education, to where she was 3 years later, a successful business owner and homeowner. Now, if she had stayed caught in the idea that there was no way she could have this dream, that 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 would have been exactly what would have happened to her. Now, with the help of a mentor and a coach and a program, she accessed a different level of thinking. She created a, a blueprint for her dream. She made a decision and to act in the face of challenging conditions. She put herself on a different frequency. And on that frequency, there were way more abundance, way more creativity, and way more time, and way more fun. Judy was clear on what she wanted. She made a powerful decision, and she took action in the face of some real circumstances. So just like Judy, you've created a blueprint for your dream. You've decided for your dream, and now we'll talk about principle number 3, which involves overcoming what stops most people from bringing their dream right into reality. First, you must decide. This brings us to principle number 3. Befriending your fear. Befriending your fear. This is like, we're gonna do it anyway. Befriending your fear. And when fear comes up, it grips you, and you challenge it. And this is it. And most fear, this is the fear thing, is the biggest thing. Fear is that question, what if I fail? What if I fail? So my question to you is, so what if you fail? Okay? Now, I've never seen a little kid, when he's learning to walk, fall down and say, I'm just not meant to be a walker. They get up and they do it anyway. They try and try and try, because he's got his eyes fixed on his vision of being a walker. Befriending your fear and doing it anyway. Now, are you willing to fail and rise again? That's the big question. Are you willing to fail and rise again? Now, here's some famous failure people. Oprah Winfrey. She was fired by TV executives because she was not fit for TV. Steven Spielberg was rejected from USC Film School 3 times. Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. Fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. When fear arises, what can you do? Big questions. All my clients, all of them. When fear arises, what can you do? Call your coach. Where is it? What is it that you can do? This is where that structured support comes in, where you have a mentor who knows your vision, you have the vision, and then the support comes in. Because a good coach will not let you go backwards, but she'll ask the question, well, if you didn't have the fear, what would you do? You can have fear, but not, or you can have the fear, but not let the fear have you. Okay? So here we go. You reconnect with your dream. So that's where, when fear comes up, you go back, and we're always reconnecting with that vision. Reconnect. What would you love? Bring it up, you know, align with that vision, reconnect with that vision. Ask yourself a question. Question every single day. What is one action step I can take that would move me in that direction of my dream? What is one action step I can take today that would move me in the direction of my dream? Now, my action is like become this global, international speaker, teacher, coach, right? So my action step is to get on and do these webinars and so what is an action step you can take in that direction of your dream that you just created? There is always one. Sometimes my clients, they'll be stumped. They'll like, get on, Google it. What is a person who is living your dream doing today? Read their biography, any action step, bring up a picture of a person that's living your dream, because the universe rewards action. And that when you do one action, the next action will come, one step at a time. And we live from our vision. What is that person doing who is living that life? Okay, put on that person, go in the closet, put on those clothes, smile at yourself in the mirrors, like act as if. What is one action step that you move me in the direction of my dream? And guess what? When you do that, those fears are going to come up. The fears are going to say, no, it's easier to stay put. My question is, how long have you been doing the same life over and over and over again? And what is it costing you? What is it costing you to stay in that life over and over and over again? Right? Big question, and how willing are you to take a step in the right direction, in the direction of your dream? Becoming willing. So right now, I'm going to give you a second or two to go back and revisit your vision. Okay. Okay, got it? And bring to mind what is one action step that I can do in the direction of your dream. Now, here's what we've covered so far. Good job, by the way, for hanging in there with all of us. This is just the beginning, okay? Here's what we've covered so far. Principle number 1 was designing your dream. Principle number 2 was deciding for your dream. And principle number 3 was befriending your fear. Now, here's my gift to you. Now, as I promised at the beginning of the presentation, I have a special gift for you. Those who are ready to take your action on your dream. Between my speaking and coaching schedules, I've carved out some time each week for some strategy discovery sessions. A strategy session is a 30 to 45-minute phone or Skype or session where we get clear on exactly where you are, what you would love to create, and the next most important step you can take that will move you in the direction of your dream. Now, this one session is valued at $250. Now, some of you that are watching this may know that you're ready to invest in achieving your dream. So for you, here's your next step. Some one-on-one time together with me over the phone where we can invest in you, your dream, and discover the path for how you can get there. Now, I'm offering these strategy sessions completely complimentary at no charge. It's my gift to you. Now, how many of you are serious about achieving your dream and would love to have a strategy session? So after this presentations, I'm going to put up an offer and a place to click onto my website get a hold of me and we'll set up a time and schedule your session. I only have a limited amount of sessions available. So it's important that you act and act quickly. The universe responds to action quickly. Okay? And let me know a little bit more about your preferred time to talk, and we'll be on your way. I'd love to offer that to you. So here we go. This is the end of the presentation. Now, here we go. Whatever it is that you can do or dream you can, begin it, because boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. This has been such a pleasure creating your best year ever, 2018. This is Judy Matejczyk, Life Mastery Consultant, over and out.